I should play E-Telly.
Good afternoon, Jank enthusiasts. I'm MBT, and this is 10-minute testing. This format's full of powerful monsters. The Azamina, Yubel, Fualas. But would it surprise you to hear that this metagame's least explored cards have no text on them whatsoever? Presenting 3 takes on Primite. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. I've been shilling Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck for, well, years at this point, and I'm happy to announce I have no intention of stopping anytime soon. By now, they've become the most complete repository of tournament tops on the internet, the best place to jam prog with friends, and of course, still host strategy articles. Recently, they've added a new piece of infrastructure to the fold, a 3-card arena draft, draftable with card pools featuring classic formats, Master Duel, or within any parameters you like. Give it, or any of their other features, a look at www.ygoprodeck.com. Let's begin with what I expect you're expecting out of me, Phantasm Spiral. I've proselytized Pacifist pretty much every chance I've had for the past decade. This control deck aims to play as little Yu-Gi-Oh! As possible, activating Pacifist and using its searchable traps to drown opponents in card advantage. It also benefits from the ability to summon normal monsters, and the Primite cards enable a boss the deck has largely shied away from, Spiral Dragon. Finally, this trap-oriented deck is a perfect place to put those Dominusses. Let's get into the card by card. We're playing a Phantasm Spiral Dragon, double pot of Extravagance, a card of Demise, a Terraforming, triple pot of Duality, 1 Prosperity, and then some Primites. We've got 1 copy of Drill Beam, which allows you to reveal a Primite or a normal monster in your hand, and then target a face-up card on the field, negate its effects, and if you do, banish it. Then, during your main phase, if you control a Primite, which you never will, you can set it from your graveyard. 2 copies of Primite Roar, which allows you to pay 2,000, declare a normal monster name. The declared normal monster and Primite monsters can't be destroyed by battle until the end of your opponent's turn. Then, if you control no monsters, special summon 1 declared normal monster from your deck in defense position. If your opponent normal summons a monster, you can banish this from your graveyard to target a normal monster you control or in your graveyard, and banish a monster on the field with less attack than that monster, which will almost always be your opponent's because that Phantasm Spiral Dragon is pretty big. We've then got 3 copies of Lordly Load. When activated, you get to add a Primite from your deck to your hand, and you can declare a normal monster named as specialty declare normal monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard in defense, and you can't activate the effect of special summon to monsters on the field this turn. Oh well. You can use each effect once per turn, and normal monsters and Primates you control gain 300 for each normal monster with a different name in your graveyard. Finally, we are on 1 copy of the searchable Phantasm Spiral Crash to potentially go over our opponent's stuff and make it to a Phantasm Spiral Dragon, putting ourselves in a OTK situation. 3 copies of Pacifist and 1 copy of Primite Howl, which allows you to declare normal monster name. You take no battle damage from battles involving your declared normal monsters or Primite monsters for the rest of the turn. Then special summon the declared normal monster from your deck or graveyard if you control no monsters. During your opponent's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target a normal monster you control or have in your graveyard and take control of a monster your opponent controls with higher attack than that monster until the end phase. We're on 2 copies of Battle the Pop, 2 copies of Power the Negate, and 3 copies of Metaverse alongside a Skill Drain. For non-engine, we are on 3 copies of Fuar Ross, 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, 3 copies of Dominus Impulse, and 3 copies of Dominus Purge. In the extra, we've got Link Spider just to get the token off our side of the field, SP Little Knight to make with those Link Spiders, and then a bunch of 4s we're never going to go into, Triple Typhon and Double Zeus. So with that, let's check out a game. Our match is up against Zark Magicians. God, I love this deck. I just wish it was a little bit better. We've opened crazy. We're going to begin with Pacifist Phantasm City, then fire off Lordly Load into an Ash Blossom. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that will trigger Pacifist? We'll go ahead and add a token to our side of the field and activate the effect of the Pacifist Phantasm City in order to grab a Phantasm Spiral Battle. Next, we're going to go for Lordly Load for a Phantasm Spiral Dragon, set 1 and pass turn. Our opponent draws for turn. They're going to begin with a copy of Dragon Shrine, sending 2 to the graveyard, including a Dark Worm. They'll activate Dark Worm to summon it, and then we'll activate Skill Drain to prevent the Dark Worm from doing anything. From this position, our opponent's going to activate the Supreme King Gate Magician, which we will immediately pop with battle, and then afterwards going to normal summon a copy of Leviathan for Clearwing, which they will use to go to battle. We will power in damage, and it will go down to 15. This is going to send it to the graveyard and leave our board unscathed. They'll pass back to us. Okay, Purge is pretty good. We're going to link off for a Link Spider and then a second Link Spider so we can Lord again and get our Phantasm Spiral Dragon back. This time we're going to go ahead and grab Howl, go to the battle phase and deal 1,000, 1,029. Then in main phase 2, we're going to go ahead ahead and make a copy of SP Little Knight, just so our opponent has something to walk over to get us back on normal locked. They're going to go for Foolish Burial here, once again sending a copy of the Dark Worm. We will summon a token to our side of the field and activate the effect of the Pacifist in order to grab another battle. Our opponent's going to go for the Dark Worm, summoning it, and then go to the battle phase, walking over our SP Little Knight, turning on our battle. Thank you. They'll go for a Typhon. We will Howl in order to target our Phantasm Spiral Dragon, and then we'll go ahead and activate battle in our newly freed up zone. They'll pass turn, should just be a hop, skip, and a jump to lethal. We'll go to battle phase attack, and we win. Next, let's delve into Primite Dragon Link. We've done Dragon Link recently, but Lordly Load and Roar offer an opportunity to once again play some cards the deck has been without, the Rockets. Now, with 6 E-Tellies that make a Striker Dragon, the deck can effortlessly flip between the Bestial Control deck we showed off a few weeks back and a combo-heavy balls-to-the-wall Borland Bonanza. Let's get into the card by card. We've got Alexandrite Dragon as our normal monster of choice, DMD, Full Metal Dragon, 3 Bestial Lubellion, Druisworm, Magnamut, Sarni, or Baldrake. We've got 1 copy of Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. The more normals you're on, the better this is. The Chaos Dragons, bifurcated by a Seifert, and then our Rockets. We've got 2 Tracer, 1 Absolouter, 1 Caliber, and 1 Recharger. We are, of course, still playing our 3 Black Metal Dragon, a Chaos Space, triple Quick Launch, 1 Branded Regained, 3 copies of Lordly Load, 1 copy of Roar, Boot Sector Launch, Dragon Ravine, and Max Metal Morph for non-engine. We're on 3 copies of Fua Ross, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Ghost Ogre, 3 copies of Valor, and the 1-in-1 of Gamma and Driver. In the extra, we are on Striker, Pisty, Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, Masquerena, Quad, Romulus, SP Little Knight, Dillingerous, Dark, Triple Burst, Access Code, Borland, Atum, Chaos Angel, and Dispotter. So with that, let's check out a game. Our match is up against Paleozoic. We have opened pretty well. We're going to begin with the effect of Primite Roar. That's going to summon from our deck an Alexandrite Dragon. Next, we'll quick launch into a copy of Rocket Tracer. From here, we're going to go into a Striker Dragon effect to grab a Boot Sector Launch, and then go into a Romulus. Romulus effect is going to grab us a copy of Dragon Ravine here. It's time to commit to the Bestial Lubellion. We'll go for the Dragon Ravine here and activate the effect, pitching an Absolouter so we can send a Black Metal Dragon. We'll activate Absolouter to get a copy of Rocket Tracer, then go for Boot Sector Launch, activate the effect of the Boot Sector Launch, and summon out the Rocket Tracer before linking off for a Pisty. We're going to go Magnamut here in order to banish this copy of Striker Dragon, then activate the on-field effect of Magnamut, swap it out for a Bestial Lubellion, and get ourselves a Regained. From this position, we'll go into Triple Burst, trigger the effect of the Guard Dragon Pisty to bring back this copy of Black Metal Dragon and make a Dillingerous. Black Metal will trigger here. We're going to go ahead and get DMD, then summon the DMD by banishing the Dillingerous. We'll shuffle that back to draw a card, then go for the DMD to bring back the Black Metal and make a Masquerena. Black Metal here will search us a copy of the Big Boy. We'll activate the effect of our Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon, shuffle it back, and then finally quick launch for a Rocket Recharger, which enables us to end on spheres. We'll pass back to our opponent and grab a Druisworm. They draw for turn, and they're going to begin by normal summoning this copy of Backjack. We'll activate Roar here, targeting our Alexandrite Dragon and Regained. It's funny, this end board doesn't look crazy, but it's legitimately the end of the game. We're going to trigger the on-field effect of the Magnamut, then we'll send it to the graveyard to get ourselves a copy of Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. At end step, we're going to go for the effect of our spheres, bouncing our Boot Sector Launch for a Seifert, which allows us to use Masquerena to go into an SP and target one of the back row. We will do just that, and then afterwards we will resolve the effect of the Magnamut for a copy of Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. We'll go for Seifert at our first opportunity, then go for the effect of the Regained, and activate the effect of the Meteor Dragon, sending a driver to summon it. We'll go for the Bestial Lubellion here in order to grab a Baldrake, then activate the Baldrake to be met with an IDP. We'll negate with Full Metal. That will send the IDP to the graveyard and allow us to summon out the Baldrake, which means we can go Access Code Talker. No need to complicate this. They're going to go Balance of Judgment. That can be ashed, so we'll do it. Then afterwards, we will allow them to Trap Trick, at which point they will set a DDKC, activate it, sending the Access Code Talker to the graveyard, and allowing us to get in for just a little with this Druisworm. We'll do 25, and then in main phase 2, we'll cycle out for the Bestial Lubellion and pass back to our opponent. They'll draw. It is a Rise to Full Height. They keep it in hand because their last remaining card is Dynamicious, but not too much they can do with it, because of course we can just flip up this Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon and get in for lethal. They'll Dynamicious, we'll negate, and we will proceed to the next one. Finally, let's speculate on Primite 6 Sam. You may have forgotten, since the cards failed to accomplish anything, but Rhoda was at least in part a 6 Sam set. There's a new Shein! You know, that's something. While they received a boatload of new tuners, there's unfortunately still one painful truth, which is, if you normal summon a 6 Samurai and your opponent stops it, you die immediately. Not so if you're playing E-Telly, and what do you know, there's a 3-star 6 Sam normal monster who does exactly what you want. Let's get into the card by card. We're playing 2 copies of Chamberlain of the 6 Samurai, and then a bunch of the new cards. We've got 3 copies of Anarchist Monk of the 6 Sam. If you control a 6 Sam monster other than this, it can be specialed from your hand. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a 6 Samurai Quick Play spell from your deck to your hand. A 6 Samurai monster synchro summoned using this card changes the levels of all your opponent's monsters by 1 fewer. After that, we've got Tactical Trainer of the Six Samurai, which, just like the last one, can be specialed from the hand if you control another Six Samurai monster. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, can add a 6 strike card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. A 6 Samurai monster that was synchro summoned using this card sinks your opponent's monsters by 500. We're playing 1 copy of Spirit of the Six Samurai, a 3-star non-tuner, and 1 copy of Toon Warrior, theoretically a normal tuner you can get. We've got 3 copies of Lordly Lode, 2 copies of Roar, then 3 Shien Smoke Signal, the newly released Double Assault, a 6-strike quick play, which can special a 6 Samurai monster with 2,000 or less attack from your hand or graveyard, and if you control 2 6 Samurais, can also change a monster your opponent controls with 2,000 or less attack to face down defense position. We've got an Aestheticism of the Six Samurai, a Rhoda, and an Azuroon for rabbit reasons. For non-engine, we've got 3 Fua Loss, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Effect Failure, 3 Ghost Ogre, a Mourner, 1 Called By, and triple Infip. We have the Rabbit, the Almirage, double SP Little Knight, double Link Spider, Masquerena, Haggard Lizardoys, Naturia Beast, and Barkion, 2 Shien. Then some new cards. New Shien is a 6-star Synchro, which if Synchro summoned can add a 6 Samurai or Shien effect monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And once per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect, can negate the activation, destroy it, and if this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy a different monster you control instead. Finally, we've got an Anishi, which gives your warrior monsters 500 during the battle phase only, and if this card is Synchro summoned, can banish any number of 6 Sam monsters from your graveyard to bounce monsters your opponent controls up to the number. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 of your banished 6 Samurai monsters. So with that, let's check out a game. Our match is up against Earth Machine. Wow, are we at Peeps' local? We're going first, and this hand is crazy. We're going to begin with a copy of Lordly Lode. We'll activate the effect of the Lordly Lode for a Roar, then we'll activate Roar in order to get from our deck a Chamberlain of the Six Samurai. From this position, we can special summon out the Anarchist Monk into a legendary Lord Six Samurai Shien. We will use its effect and the effect of the Monk in order to grab an Aestheticism. We'll go for the Tactical Trainer and then use Aestheticism in order to grab another Chamberlain. From here, we can make the Shien and activate the Tactical Trainer in order to grab from deck to hand the Double Assault. Finally, we're going to go for Smoke Signal, normal out the Tactical Chamber, and then activate the Primordial Lordly Lode in order to go ahead and get that Chamberlain back so we can end on a Nat Beast. Pretty good. Although that Forbidden Droplet is pretty good as well. Okay, they're going to negate both the Naturia Beast and the effect of, unfortunately, our Monster Negator. They're going to go for the Infinite Track Harvester here, which of course doesn't resolve. They'll go for Foolish Burial Goods, we'll negate with a Shien, and they will Tactics Talents to draw 2. That's 2 good ones. They're going to go for Heavy Ford for a copy of Harvester. We'll activate Roar here in order to get that sucker out of there. They're going to go Ballista into Box, and they do get to play at least a little bit here. Box is going to grab from deck to hand a copy of Trencher. They will activate the effect of the Trencher, tributing the Ballista, at which point we can double Assault in order to tuck that sucker face down and bring back Anarchist Monk. Finally, they will FB Goods for a Clockwork Knight, then activate that effect, sending the Box in order to grab a Regulus, which gives them at least something with which to contest our board. They will walk over the Shien and then end their turn, but I'm feeling pretty comfortable from this position. They're going to go Rivalry of Warlords. Okay, goodbye to Naturia Beast, but no big deal. We will activate the Graveyard effect of Double Assault, then normal summon the Chamberlain. We'll go Shien Smoke Signal to get a copy of Anarchist Monk, then we'll make a copy of Anishi. We'll go Anishi in order to bounce the entire field. They will contest it with Regulus, of course, and now it's just a hop, skip, and a jump. We'll go for the effect of the Anarchist Monk and then the effect of the Lordly Lode to bring back the Chamberlain to go into Shien. We'll go to the battle phase, walk over this Regulus, over the set card, and direct for 22 before passing back to our opponent. They'll draw for turn. Econ is not going to do it. They'll go Trencher here, targeting Harvester. We will negate with Shien, and then afterwards they're just going to set one and pass. Should be all she wrote. We will just go ahead and go to the battle phase, get in for 22, 3k, and 3k well over lethal, negating the enemy controller in the process. Woof. So we're back with the decks, and, a little too normal for my taste. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1. Primite Roar is a quick play, unexpected die, which is good already, but it also comes with an interrupt on your opponent's normal summon, so even just playing 3 unexpected die is nice for some decks. 2. Lordly Lode scales it up a bit more, searching for the Roar and adding an extra normal monster revive or summon from deck. Although it locks you out of special summoned monster effects, you can use it at the end of a combo to Xyz or Link into an interrupting monster with no play effects. And 3. Drill Beam and Howl are great interrupts if you are heavier with normal monsters or you end with one on field. And the cons. 1. Imperial Dragon doesn't really have a place in the engine. Despite being a great card on paper, tributing a normal monster on field to AoE negate or banish all monsters and opponent controls of the same type or attribute is good, but it requires a very specific normal monster to make it effective. A future deck that ends with a normal monster on field with good attributes to banish, like, a Light Fiend, might see success playing this. 2, if you're trying to maximize value and play Lordly Lode to search Roar as your engine, you're going to open yourself up to a very early droll that can devastate a lot of decks. And 3, 2,000 life points is a lot, especially in time. You can use Lordly Lode without adding Roar as just a single extender at the very end of your turn due to the lock, but it isn't great. Overall, this engine seems promising for now, and might see more play into the future, especially when Pity is released. So that's that. A huge shouts out to the individuals who make these videos possible, most notably my Patreons. The high tier ones are in front of you right now, and I will read their names as contractually obligated. First up is Slifer274, followed by Elena Tincher, Alex Perea, Allison Elliott, Ally, Brett Henry, Darkmaster Zork, Derpin Dragon, Devin Senpai, DJ Elefante, FPS Lord Derp, John Piet, Killer Croc 467, Night Mary, Legal Rights, Lockstone, Luis Hernandez, Lullaby of Souls, Master of Faster, Matthew M. Derezzo, MBT Play Madolce, Mike Carlotti, N54 Lionheart, Nacho Gonzalez, Nebulo Yu-Gi-Oh!, Project Mercury, Rose Lapine, Troy Says By Erasure is Gay, Who's Nick, Wonder Waffle, Your Pot of Greed Does What, and Yuki. Couldn't have done it without you.